If I tell my wife, if you don't love me, I'm going to set you on fire, am I a loving, good husband?
If you set her on fire, then you never loved her to begin with.
And if God sends us to hell, he never loved us to begin with.
Boom.
Wrong.
Okay.
You're the one who's asserting God's sending people to hell. Why? I'm not saying hell doesn't exist, but why are you assuming that you as a in your disbelief or unbelief or disobedience aren't basically signing up through your actions? And then he's actually trying to save you from that place. Like, what if that place that you're like, God sends people to, isn't where God wants you? Like, it seems like that would be in conflict with your assumption when you say God sends people to hell.
Oh my gosh, can you tell that dude was hurting his own brain in trying to justify this God not being the instrument that sends you to hell, but trying to figure out a reason why you send yourself to hell. Now, the originator of the first part of the video that he claimed that he's stitching himself to, which, dude, that was a horrible stitch. Where the dude was like, oh, you never loved your wife. And then God, that means God never loves you. You know, ipso facto. Boom, had him. Then this guy's like, what makes you think God is trying to send you to hell? God is trying to keep you from going to hell. If God didn't want man to go to hell, there's a bunch of things God could have done in the very beginning so that man doesn't go to hell. Number one, not make a hell. How about that part? How about just not even make the place? Don't even create the place. If you was a truly loving God, and for those who rejected your love, why not just allow them to go to oblivion? Cease to exist. You are God. You're all powerful. You can go absent of the laws of physics, even though thermodynamics say that energy can be created nor destroyed, can't be created nor destroyed. But you're outside of the laws of nature, right? So destroy the energy or dissipate it into nothingness and let it become part of a tree or a branch or whatever, or a building or whatever it is. You could have not made hell at all, made oblivion instead, which is what the Jewish people actually believed. Now, what's another thing he could have done? Not tempt man by putting the Garden of Eden, putting the tree of knowledge and good and evil in the garden, knowing full well that man was going to eat from the tree. How about that? Thereby keeping sin from ever coming into the material world. Could have done that as well. Or how about not even creating man at all? If you know that you are creating something and you know in the beginning of that creation that it is going to fail, why do it? So you guys who have followed me know I own a cigar company. If I had foreknowledge that the cigar company would fail, I would have never done it. If I had foreknowledge that my popcorn shop that I used to own was going to fail, I would have never done it. If I had foreknowledge that my gym was going to fail, I would have never done it. If I had foreknowledge of getting fired from a job, would you go and take that job if you know that you're going to get fired? No, you wouldn't. But this God supposedly had foreknowledge that all these things are going to happen. So why even bother to create man if you know that it was going to be all this hate and suffering and evil that man was going to do? He did say he regretted making man. So since you regretted making man, why didn't you just destroy all man and not even let Noah and his kids survive? And therefore, you just got a natural world. You see, your God doesn't make sense. And saying that man sends himself to hell, that only exists because you're trying to logically figure out how we exist in the way that we exist with free will, but yet try to make us conform under the mindset of your God and what his will is, or what you believe his will is. So instead of all of that mental gymnastic that this man went through to try to force this God belief to fit, oh my goodness. Your God could have just never made man in the first place, and everything would have been perfect because animals are just instinctive. But you're trying to force it because you want to believe in this religion and make our free will fit with your God's will. But your God made it where either you love him or go to hell. Man didn't create that thought process according to your book. God created that thought process according to his will. So why have that will? Why create Pascal's wager? There's no reason to do it. So man does not send himself to hell. Your God does, because your God set up the parameters that you have choice A and choice B, had the worst way of spreading his message, and demonstrates himself to be a genocidal maniac that many would reject. So no. This is why when I see people going through the mental gymnastics that man went through, losing himself multiple times, not being able to really rationalize it, and struggling with his own logic, that is why you should not follow this religion and seek your inner self and grow from understanding self-knowledge and the knowledge of the natural universe. So always remember that you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.